Khan, we live, man. All right, first and foremost, I'm gonna say call halal Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. So I praise to the Most High God, in the name of his only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ. And today we're gonna go into tonight rather. I do that every time. Tonight we're gonna go into a lesson, pretty much going into enduring in this truth and the
Mm.
things we have to do to make it to the end, and the things we have to deal with while we're on that journey, like all the speed bumps, all the adversities, because the Bible said they would come. So we're just gonna go into that, and also shout out to everybody who's seen the video about us cutting them youth leaders. Shout
Mm.
out to all Ezra who's
Mm.
seen that, man. But yeah, let me get
Yeah.
matter of fact, give me the laws of truth in Psalms real fast,
God,
because
God, God.
what we need to understand is before we can even go into what is the truth. I mean, we'll go into enduring into the truth. We have to understand what is the truth. So I need that one. And I need the one where Yahweh Shai said he's the way and the truth. Because we have to understand this, right? Being in the truth doesn't mean you know you're an Israelite. Not, it doesn't just mean knowing you're an Israelite. Being in this truth and abiding in the truth is abiding in the law, statutes, and commandments and the faith of Yahweh Shai. That's why you see those who were saved in Revelation chapter 14, keeping the law, keeping the commandments of God, and having the faith of Jesus or Yahweh Shai Mashiach. Now, what Christians say, they'll say that we just believe in Jesus and we're going to be saved, but like that's not the truth. That's not the literal truth, and that's not the truth of the Bible. The truth of the Bible is, like I said before, abiding in the commandments and the faith of Christ. Now, if you're not embodying that, you're not abiding in this truth. If you're slipping and sliding on some commandments, say like let me get a precept actually to show you what I'm saying. Uh, I'll read it. You stay where you at.
Okay.
If you're slipping and sliding on the commandments, the Lord's gonna get you for that, man. And you're not abiding in this truth. Okay, let me go into this. This is James chapter 2, verse 10. As for whosoever shall keep the whole law and yet offend in one point, he is guilty of all. Now, I'm gonna break this down correctly because Christians will say, "See, you break one commandment, you broken them all." That's not what that's really saying, because the context is the next verse. It says, "For he that said, 'Do not commit adultery,' said also, do not commit adultery. Said also, 'Do not kill.' Now, if thou commit no adultery, yet if thou kill, thou art become a transgressor of the law." A transgressor of the law. So basically, what he's saying is, if you can't show partiality in the law, statutes, and commandments. If you're about the faith, you're about keeping the commandments. I'm not about to sit here and say I'm in the truth or I'm keeping the commandments of God. I keep all the rest of them, but I hate my brother on the low. I'm still eating pork on the low, but I keep everything else. I'm still just a sinner. I'm still a sinner, just like everybody else. You're no different than everybody else. Now, the reason I brought that up is because if you're doing that, you're not really abiding in this truth. Because Yahweh Shai made himself an example that somebody could actually do this. Like First Peter, I always say this, First Peter 2:21. He made himself an example because he didn't transgress the law, statutes, and commandments. Neither was guile found in his mouth. So we need to be, if we call ourselves Christians or believers of Yahweh Shai or following the truth, we have to do the same thing. We can't be half-assing the law. We can't just say, "Oh, don't worry about that. We got grace." No, that's spitting on Yahweh Shai's sacrifice that he did for us. We are to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability. That's abiding in the truth. Now, give me that precept real quick.
God. Yeah, this Psalms 119, 142.
Mhm,
Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness,
mhm.
and thy law is the truth.
That law is the truth. The Bible literally says the law is the truth. So if you're abiding in the truth, you're abiding in what? The law, statutes, and commandments. You're abiding in the wisdom that the Lord gave us, the thing that set us apart from all other nations. He gave us the Lord, and that's how you know the Lord really only wanted to deal with one people in the first place, because the only path he's ever given to actually love him and seek after him, he gave that to one people. And according to that, there was penalties if you didn't do it. That's why curses came upon one people and not everybody. because he didn't want to give everybody. Because when you look at Deuteronomy, I'll say this and clarify my point. When you look at Deuteronomy chapter 28, the first 14 verses is going into the blessings that you would get if you keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, and the curses from 15 all the way to the end go into the curse of transgression of law, statutes, and commandments. Now you can obtain these blessings if you hearken unto the Lord and keep these commandments. He only showed these commandments to one people, so he only envisioned one people to actually take hold of this and keep these commandments and attain the blessings. It wasn't given to everybody. If the kingdom was meant to at one point be given to everybody, that he would have gave the law, he would have gave the blueprint to get there. Like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? He would have gave if the Lord wanted if the Lord wanted everybody to build this building, and I mean if the Lord wanted everybody to build this building, he would have gave everybody the blueprint. But he only gave one people the blueprint because he wanted them to build this building. He wanted them to be a part of this. He wanted them to be in the truth. And knowing you now have the golden ticket, you should cash that in by walking in the truth and by keeping the commandments, not just around brethren. Like keeping having like this is like the first class we ever started really doing on here. Integrity, having straight integrity. Don't just do things. Don't just do things because you don't. I'll say it like this: don't just be an Israelite on the weekend. You know what I mean? Even for people who celebrate the Friday, Saturday Sabbath or the lunar Sabbath, when they meet brethren on those days, don't just appear to be righteous. Have integrity and full belief of the Lord that you'll walk in these commandments to the best of your ability. When somebody's watching and when somebody else isn't watching, it's like it. Because give me Ecclesiastes 12 verse 14.
God. It's Ecclesiastes.
Hold on, Rob Iskar had the cut on that. So he says, John 14:15, if you love me, keep my commandments. That's what Yahweh said. If you love him, keep his commandments. If you love the Lord, keep his commandments. Do what he says to do. Because if you reverence him, you'll do it. That's because honestly, bro, the works, the law, the faith is all really encompassed into one thing. It is in totality the faith. You embodying in this faith that's honestly the truth. If you actually break it down, the truth and abiding in it is you actually having that true faith. Because since I believe that the Lord will judge me for certain things, I won't do those things to get judged. Because I fear the Lord. I know that he exists. I know he's a rewarder of those who do good, and he's a he's a demon-like destruction to people who don't do that. You know what I mean?
And if I might add, it also proves that that keeping the law is having faith, and it's not necessarily always worked. It's also faith, because in order to believe that Yahweh Shai is the way, the truth, and the life, you got to believe in Deuteronomy 18:18 that he's actually that prophet, that you will actually do everything that he said. Because when you believe in Deuteronomy 18:18 that he's that prophet, well, that's you fulfilling the law.
Mm-hmm.
In and of itself, because you're believing on the one whom the law is basically pointing to.
Mm-hmm. That's why it's so crazy when somebody wants to be OT only. The Lord shows a messianic figure coming. Matter of fact, he says one's going to come, he's going to do this and this. He's going to he even gave you the time period of when he would come. Because he would have to come, he'd have to come through Bethlehem. He had to come through Bethlehem, right? Now, the people over there right now aren't the actual Israelites. So he would have to have already came pre the diaspora of Israelites. So he would have to have already come. He also had to walk in the temple, like it says in Malachi. All these things have to happen. So he showed you a timeline of when it would happen. He told you what they would do, what was their mission, and the time period they would come. So when you sit here and try to say, JC isn't the guy and all that, like you honestly don't even hold to the so-called Old Testament that you profess that you know. That's why they continually get confounded, because you're not even really standing on the word. You're building your entire house on sand. It's madness, bro. But go ahead, get that. Well, hold up. Before you get that, because I want to go off your point, because you said like faith is going into the works, because even faith is a work. Faith is literally a work, and I'll prove it out of the Bible.
I got
This
you
is
right
First
here.
Thessalonians.
Yeah,
I got it.
okay, go
First
ahead.
Thessalonians 1, verse 3. Remembering without ceasing your work of faith and labor of love and patience of hope in our Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach in the sight of God and our Father. So faith is a work. They say, "Oh, you Hebrew Israelites believe in a work-based salvation." Well, do you believe? Do you believe you need faith to have salvation? Yes. Do you believe in doing a work? It's like these people who say such things really don't understand the Bible. They
And
don't.
that's
They
going
don't
back.
encompass it. Go ahead.
That's a lot. Yeah,
You
that was
good?
going back to what James was saying. He says, "Let faith have her perfect work in you."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And faith, and also faith without works is dead. The one we always go to.
Yep.
Faith. It's like if you're not proving that if you're not doing the things to prove uh that prove you actually believe in the Lord, how can somebody even know that you believe in the Lord? Like, matter of fact, can you give me that be continually with a godly man?
Con.
You know what that is? Sorry, what is that? 30? That's 33. It's
I
33
believe.
or 32.
Yeah, let me look at my
Because
Bible.
that shows you what you're about, bro. Let me see.
Maybe 37 and 12.
Yeah, get that.
Yeah, this is Sirach 37 and 12. It says, let me blow it up. It says, "But be continually with a godly man,
Mm-hmm.
whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Lord, whose
So
mind."
hold on, real fast. Let's just stop right there, because now when you have Christians, they'll go up into a church house and immediately give the pastor all these type of accolades and just automatically assume that they're a man of God, but you haven't seen their actions.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what's even crazier about that? When he does something that's against the Bible, then they'll judge him on his actions. They'll judge him on his actions, bro. So and say, "Oh, he's not a man of God. He did X, Y, and Z." Then okay, if you're gonna judge him on his negative actions, why didn't you give him merit off of his positive actions? Which positive actions would be like choosing good, like Deuteronomy 30 says, would be keeping the commandments. Be continually with a godly man who thou knowest to keep the commandments. If I experience this person keeping the commandments and I see him actually walking after the Lord and seeking him, that's a godly man. Like that's the whole purpose encompassing the truth, right? Walking in these commandments to actually show you have that true faith, because that's somebody who believes. If you keep it, like, especially nowadays, we have like no reason to keep this law. The way America's set up and the way the world's set up, there's no reason to just keep this law except that you actually believe in what the book says. Give me Sirach 32.
Sirach 32. Okay, this Sirach 32 and 24. "He that believeth in the Lord taketh heed to the commandment, and he that trusteth in him shall fare never the worse."
Hold on, fast. I was looking at this crazy ass comment. Look at this. The potent plants. Is it wrong? Bethlehem Ephrata means fruitful horse of the Lord. It's in Revelation 3 and 7. David is in Philadelphia. Right? No, he's talking about the Church of Philadelphia. King David was in the Church of Philadelphia.
Hold on. First of all, Bethlehem. What the heck? Hold on. Bro, Bethlehem means house of bread.
I know. Bro.
This dude is bugged out, man.
It's potent plants, man. He been smoking on that herb, man. Remember that? Were you there when that dude said marijuana is the herb of renown, the plant of renown?
Yeah.
And the plant of renown is talking about Israel.
Dang,
he said we can smoke that plant of renown.
Hey, man.
But read that verse again, man. It's the Lord in Christ.
Yeah, this is Sirach 32 and 24. "He that believeth in the Lord taketh heed to the commandment, and he that trusteth in him shall fare never the worse."
He that trusted in him shall fare never the worse. Why? Go ahead.
It said, what was it on that?
Wait, where'd you start it? You started the last
Sirach
verse?
32 and 24.
Started the one before to read into it.
Oh, okay. Here, let me just pull it up on here for everybody
Yeah.
to see. Sirach 32 and 23.
Yeah, you got to have both of them, man.
God, it says, in every good work,
There we go.
in every good work, trust thy own soul.
Mm-hmm.
For this is the keeping of the commandments.
Yeah, every good work is the keeping of the commandments. Go ahead.
And it's a lot. He that believeth in the Lord,
He that
take it.
believeth in the Lord, faith. If you actually, that's how you know we actually believe in the Lord, because we don't like nobody's making us do this.
Yeah.
Like people look at you like you crazy when you walk out the house with fringes on. You got a beard on your face. I never knew how crazy crazy people look at you when you have a beard on your face. Like
in America, man.
It's America, because America teaches you everything outside of His law, statutes, and commandments. So we really have no reason to do it except that we believe in the Lord. Go ahead.
It says, he that believeth in the Lord taketh heed to the commandment, and he that trusteth in him shall fare never the worse.
And trusting is actually going into faith. Even if you look at the Hebrew word for faith, it's going to trusting and allegiance. So if you trust in the Lord by doing what? Keeping the commandments, you'll never fare. You shall fare never the worst. As in, you don't have to worry about the destruction that's going to come. You don't have to worry about that perdition. You know what I mean? You don't have to worry about you don't got to worry about the sinners of my people dying by the sword. You don't have to worry about being one of those people because you're keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, which is having faith, which is the truth.
That's right.
That's the truth. We have to stay in this, not half-ass it, not just do a couple of them and then just throw the other ones away. You have to stay in this truth and endure. There'll be times where I want to do something on the Sabbath, but I can't do it because the Lord says do this. He says rest, stay in your tent, reside in your tent. He says to do all these things. So I have to forsake. Give me 1 John chapter 5 verse 3, because there's a point that doesn't get harped on enough. I ain't even got into the lesson yet. 1 John chapter 5 verse 3.
It's 1 John 5 and 3. For this is the love of Yahweh, that we keep his commandments. And his commandments are not grievous.
His commandments are not what?
Grievous.
It doesn't grieve you to keep the commandments. The Lord shouldn't have to twist your arm to keep the commandments. Somebody shouldn't have to twist your arm to keep the commandments of the Lord. You should want to do that because you love him. It shouldn't make you mad to rest one day of the week. It shouldn't make you mad or upset you to put fringes on your shirt, put a beard on your face, stop eating pork. Why? Because that's the true path of following the Lord and loving him. It shouldn't make you mad. Like you shouldn't feel any type of way. You should do it because the Lord, first and foremost, because the Lord told you to. Because I know growing up being a so-called black man or a black child, you growing up in a black household, when your parents tell you to do something, you ask them why. They say, because I said so. I know parents say that because I said so.
I ain't got to explain it to you.
You ain't got to explain nothing to you. Why? Because you a child. Why would I need to explain? You do what I tell you to do, right? And that's how that same reverence we had to our parents, we got to have that to the Lord, because he can destroy our body and our soul. He can make you like the Lord literally can make somebody cease from existence. He has power to do that because he is existence, going into his name, the existent one, going to come to be, and he is existence. He has come to be existence. That's Yahweh. That's going into his name. He can take you, like he brought you into this world, and he can take you out of this world. You see, your parents said that. Your parents said that all your life, but they really can't do that. They really not going to do that. But the Lord will do that to you. The Lord could do that to you. He brought you into this world a few times, might I add, and he can take you out.
A few times.
For those who got that joke.
If you can receive that joke.
if you can receive it. But yeah, give me go hit the back button and get Ecclesiastes 12 and 14.
Oh,
real fast. Because we never got there.
God. 12 and 13?
12 and 14.
Oh, okay. It's Ecclesiastes 12 and 14. For Yahweh shall bring every work into judgment, And with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil.
So the Lord will bring every deed you did into judgment. That's why you can't be partial in the law. Because people say, "Oh, you're just being a super brew." Man, like I honestly, bro, I actually hate that terminology. Because you should be one, like you should like how I said in Second Ezra, where it basically talks about those who stood stiffly for the name of the Lord. You gotta stand stiff for the name of the Lord. Standing stiffly for the name of the Lord is keeping the commandments and the faith to the best of your ability. Talk about super brew. I mean that's just ridiculous, man. Like you should want to strictly be holding to these tenets of this law. Like this. Go ahead. You got a precept?
Yeah, this Sirach 43 and 40. When you glorify the Lord, exalt him as much as you can. So there's no such thing as being a super brew, because we understand according to Baruch chapter 3, he says, as it was your mind to go astray, seek him 10 times more. All right. And you're still not even a super brew, even when you seek him 10 times more, because you're still falling short. He says, for even yet will he far exceed. And when you exalt him, put forth all your strength and be not weary, for you can never go far enough. You can never go far enough. And when you consider what John the Baptist has said, he says, you increase while I decrease. Well, if we have that type of mentality, you can't be a super brew if you're decreasing. When you're exalting and magnifying him, you can't do it enough, man.
You can't do it enough. Give me where Yahweh shall say is the way and the truth and the light. And I'm gonna go back on that precept you said. You can't. There's like even you keeping the commandments because of best ability, you really don't deserve anything. You don't really deserve anything. Like you're really nothing. You're like in the grand scheme of things, like you're really nothing. The Lord brought you in this place. He can take you out of this place, but you want to try your best to be on his good side, that he can actually show some love towards you as far as allowing you to make it and endure this present captivity so you can obtain the promise.
That's right.
Because we want to obtain this promise. Because what encompasses the promises is literally Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1 through 14. I want all the like how it says in Deuteronomy 30, I want all the curses flipped onto my to our adversaries. Right. I want to be atop everybody else. I want to lend to them and they don't have the power to lend to me. I want to be the head and they be the tail. Like I want all that. I want all what they say. I said all that. I want to run all that. I want all. I want all that, man. That's why I do my damnedest to keep the commandments.
That's right.
And we should do our damnedest to do and teach these commandments, because the faster we do that, the faster the elect seal, faster the judgments can start. And we got to be, honestly, bro, we got to be nearing it, because I'm saying it's them jabs, right? They pushing them jabs, and they pushing cryptocurrency.
Yep.
You pushing jabs and cryptocurrency. What does that sound like? That sounds like Charagma. That's what that sounds like.
That's Charagma season, man.
It's Charagma season, man. Can you see? Like you're pushing jabs super hard and implant something that implants you. And when you look at the word Charagma, it's going into something that implants you. Even the pictures of the mark of the beast. I'll say it like this: the mark of the beast. For people who don't know the Greek word for mark, there. When you look at the mark of the beast, it's going into something. Matter of fact, open up a new tab and pull that up real fast.
Okay.
Then we'll come back to that. Let's get this real quick, because that needs to be said. The mark of the beast needs to be talked about.
Yeah, this is Revelation 13. I started 15. And he had power.
You don't got to read it. We already know about that. Click the word for Mark there.
Okay. Let's see, Mark. It's Charagma. Go to the etymology.
Mm-hmm.
It's Charax for Mark. It says a pale or stake, a palisade.
A pale or stake or palisade. Now, when you Google those things, what does that look like? That look like a syringe. That look like something, an implantable device. That's what that looks like. Not sin. It's the mark of the beast is not sin, but sinners will take the mark of the beast. But the mark of the beast is not sin. The mark of the beast is something implantable that also holds information. That's why you look at the word charagma. It's a compound word. Look at the next word, the root word of it, because really a compound. You and this McDonald's Wi-Fi.
I'm running off Wi-Fi. Is grapho.
Yeah.
To write with reference to the form of the letters, to delineate or form letters on the tablet, parchment, paper, or other material.
So basically, I mean, just in a nutshell, basically, it's something that holds data, something that has the ability to hold data. Now, if charagma is the word for mark, right there, it's talking about the mark of the beast. Charagma is a compound word. It means a combination of something that holds data and an implantable device or something that implants or impels. What does that sound like? That sounds like they are RFID chip. That's why I brought up the whole thing that we got to be nearing the end, because what they pushing implants. As far as the now I'm not gonna say that, as far as the jabs, right? As far you know what I'm talking about, the jabs, right? And they're pushing cryptocurrency. Every time I watch an ad on YouTube, like 3 out of 4 at a time, like not 3 out of 4, probably like 3 out of 5 times I watch one, it's about cryptocurrency, especially Bitcoin. That's like they're pushing that hardcore. So we got to be nearing this. We got to be nearing the time where this prophecy is going to be unfolding. We got to be nearing the time when the elect is getting sealed, and we can hasten the day if we first and foremost walk in the truth and endure into the truth and show ourselves to be an example to our people, so they can follow after the Lord too. So the elect can be sealed even sooner.
That's right.
And the sooner the elect is sealed, the sooner we get the promise. The sooner destruction of the nations happens, and then we get the promise. That's why it's important to endure into this truth, because you're really setting the nation. You're really setting the nation back when you half-ass it. If you think about it, you're setting us back. Now, what was I going to say? Now you can go back into where Yahushua said that.
Okay, this is John 14:6. Yahushua said unto him, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh to the Father but by me."
Why did it say that? Why is no man coming to the Father except by him? Because he's the mediator for us. Like it says, I'll get that real fast. Like it says that in 1 Timothy.
I got it right here.
Okay, go ahead.
This 1 Timothy 2:5. For there is one Yahweh, or one power, and one mediator between Yahweh and men, the man Hamashiach Yahweh Shah.
He is the mediator between God and men. And you know what's funny? Like I remember reading this. I remember watching a video where Assad was talking about this. This is actually a Trinity cut. Because,
yeah, it is.
Because if they all have the same power and they're all the same being, either they all whether you believe in they're all the same being as or what is that, like the hypostatic union? They're all equal between each other. How is one of them a mediator between the other part? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Because like something in mediation is in between, or like a middleman between two parties. So to say that there's a Trinity, that would mean like this party, the main party, is also the mediator, the middleman between the other party. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Like, that's just it's madness, right? It's madness. It's madness.
It's got to be a different entity.
Yeah.
Got to be a different entity.
You got a precept?
Well, I did, but it pertained to that, but it not on the context what you was talking about though.
Oh, okay. Let's go back.
Okay.
Go back to what y'all just said.
All right. Yeah, this is John. Let me go back. John 14:6. He says, Yahushua said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me.
Now, the part I want to highlight on that, he's the truth. So what do we see now? We see Yahushua being called the truth. We see the law being called the truth. Both of them together encompassing is the truth. So walking in the faith of Yahushua and walking in the faith of the Lord by keeping his commandments and reverencing what he's saying is walking in the truth. That's the truth. Nothing else is the truth. Not just knowing you're Israelite. That doesn't do anything. Because if that's the case, then when we're out there at camp and we tell somebody they're Israelite and they walk away and eat a pork chop sandwich, that means they're in the truth. that they're not in the truth. Being in the truth is walking in law, statutes, and commandments, and nothing. And walking in law, statutes, and commandments, and the faith of Yahweh Shai is the truth, and nothing else. Now, let's go into enduring in this truth. You're gonna have things that happen to you as far as temptations, whether it be of your own self or whether it be your family members, whether it be of your job. Give me James.
Okay.
James 5 and 7, right? You're gonna have temptations as far as your family members, as far as yourself, your own temptations, as far as things that are just happening to you, just in general. That'll try to make you pull yourself out of this truth. Like, dang, the Lord sure is taking a long time. Dang, I thought 2020 was it 2029? 2029 was a year. 2019 was a year. And so 400 years, man. Like, that was really not even talking about that prophecy in general. But basically, it is this, right? Like, they'll say the Lord's taking too long. They'll say, oh, well, this is hard. Can't nobody do that. That's things that'll try to bring you out of this. They'll try to take this out of you. That's why you have to have the truth. That's why you have to have the truth as far as the law, statutes, commandments, and the faith are rooted inside of you and established inside of you, built up. That's why I get this precept. Go ahead and get this precept real quick.
James 5 and 7. Be patient, therefore, brethren, until the coming of the Lord.
Yeah.
Behold, the husbandman waited for the precious fruit of the earth.
No, okay, stop right there. The husbandman waited for the precious fruit of the earth. What's a husbandman? A farmer, somebody who plants seeds, just like how a husband plants a seed in a woman. Like, it's the same aspect, right? The husbandman of the Lord, a farmer, somebody who plants seeds. They patiently wait for the fruit to happen, the fruit to appear, and that doesn't happen overnight. That doesn't happen over a few nights. That happens sometimes even weeks. Sometimes it takes a good month or so to even see progress in certain type of vegetation. They wait patiently for this. And that's the same way we have to be. Like, the truth, like, just because you come into the truth, the end is just automatically going to happen, or we just automatically don't get the kingdom. You have to wait patiently in this and endure in this truth, because it's going to come a time to where it's going to be like I said this like when I first started teaching. It's going to come a time where it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be a fun time to be an Israelite.
Yeah.
Second Ezra, the last chapter said it's coming soon. Just like how you made a video about how they're trying to classify us as terrorists. That, like, it's gonna come a time where you're looked at as a terrorist. They're gonna see you with fringes on and think you're a terrorist. Because matter of fact, and if you think about it, we almost oppose America in such a way, because when we keep these commandments to the best of our ability and show ourselves to be a light to other Israelites, and they do it, and they start doing it too, the elect get sealed faster. The faster the elect gets sealed, the faster America falls. And there's gonna come a time where people don't just look at you like, what's that on the shirt? They're gonna look at you like you're a terrorist, and you're gonna have to endure through that. That's why Revelation chapter 2 says, what's that about the devil shall cast some of you into prison and endure so many days, even unto death. I'm paraphrasing. Endure even unto death, you'll receive a crown of life. And if we endure in this truth all the way into the end, even or our death or our salvation time, or if we're alive during salvation time, we'll get that crown of life. What's that crown of life? That everlasting life. What's everlasting life? The kingdom. We're gonna go into a lesson of that too. The everlasting life is the kingdom. That's the crown of life that we're gonna get if we endure into this truth. That's why we have to have patience, because patience versus experience. Through patience you get experience. Through experience you have more hope into this truth, and you just honestly just evolve. If you make it through this furnace of affliction, the longer you make it into it, the more you should be evolving into this truth, right? You shouldn't be stuck. It's like, you play Pokemon, right, Azumar?
No, I ain't never played now.
Oh man, you crazy. That's like if you get you going through an adventure, right? See, I'm gonna tell the story. You ain't gonna understand it. But you when you start off like in Generation 1 Pokemon, which is pretty much one of the best ones. Generation 1, you get to choose between the Bulbasaur, the Squirtle, and the Charmander. Now you want to pick the Bulbasaur. You want to pick the Squirtle because it's the best one, but that doesn't matter. You don't want to go through the journey as just a damn Squirtle. You don't want to you don't want to get all 8 badges with a Squirtle because it's gonna be hard for you and it's not gonna make no sense. You want to be evolving. You want to evolve into a Blastoise, right? And here I'm making a Pokemon reference, man. you don't want your Pokemon to stay as a Squirtle. You want to evolve into a Blastoise, and that's how we need to be evolving into this truth. You don't need to be stuck in level 1. You don't want to just be stuck in just I just got fringes on and that's it. I'm still breaking everything else. I got fringes on. I can't, like, you even got Israelites who call themselves Israelites and can't go in the Bible and prove that they were Israelites.
Damn.
Like I was like, prove me an Israelite. Like you have to be evolving into this truth, man.
Yeah.
You don't need to be stuck at level 1. Like and even before you said even then, like, don't even just use the Bible. Like there's a lot of historical points that can validate that we're Israelites. They could show you that's just as powerful as the Bible. Because if somebody doesn't reverence the Bible, you're gonna have to reverence these. You're gonna have to reverence these sources. You're gonna have to reverence these sources I got going on, man. Because the same people who don't believe in the Bible usually worship the white man anyway. So you about to look at these Edomite sources, and they're gonna show you I'm an Israelite, and you can't say nothing about this. And I'm gonna match it up with prophecy. And you don't get that on level 1, man.
Yeah.
You still using the bubble attack, man. You don't get that on level 1.
That's what Paul even said. Paul even equated faith. I'm kind of quoting it, but he equated faith as from faith to faith, and that's actually the evolution of faith, if you will. Faith has, like you're stating, man, it has stages. It has evolution cycle to it. Let me pull that up real quick. That'll actually be good. This is I'm just gonna read it right out of here. This is Romans 1:17. For therein is the righteousness of Yahweh revealed from faith to faith, and that's exactly how the righteousness, which is the righteousness of Yahweh, is revealed, which is the most, which Yahweh shot. He's revealed by us from faith to faith, right? When you come into this truth, your faith is at a certain level. But the longer you grow into it, and not just stay stagnant, but you actually grow into it, you get built up in the spirit, you're fasting, you're praying, you're meditating, you're studying how you should, well, your faith is going to be elevated. And that's what it's going to take. That's exactly what it's going to take, man, because when you read Sirach 24:10, he says, if you faint in the day of adversity, thy faith is small.
Ooh. So
proving to you that you can't have a small faith. You got to have big faith. And then, of course, it starts off with the grain of a mustard seed. But what is a mustard seed intended to do? Grow. Mm-hmm. if that seed isn't growing, that's degenerate. And we know that the Lord isn't dealing with degenerate individuals.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying, man. Like Jake's be out here still using the bubble attack, but I'm talking about using hydro pump, bro.
You said the bubble attack.
You gotta use a hydro pump, man. You gotta get. I play the hell out of Pokemon, bro. I'm saying it like this, man. Like Jake out here still using bubble. You gotta be on hydro pump, man. Like hydro pump, you know what hydro pump is? Hydro pump is Hebrews chapter 9, verse 15. Hydro pump is Matthew chapter 7 and 21. Matthew chapter 5. like it's things like that, bro. Like that's you talking about just daggers, right? Like super effective. Like you just gotta be out here super effective hitting criticals on niggas, man.
That's why he said be skillful. That's why he told you to be a skillful laborer.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing to be a laborer, but you got to learn how to be a skillful laborer. And in order to be skillful with anything, it takes what? Practice. Endurance.
Mm-hmm. Endurance. You have to, the more you endure, the stronger you get, bro. Like if I've been in this truth, since 2016. Like me being in the truth this long, seeing people bug out, learning more things. My faith has been strengthened. Compared to me in 2016 all the way until now, my faith has been strengthened. It's like when people say, "Oh, the Bible ain't real," I just chuckle at it because it's just like, okay, Let me go in it and cut the hell out of you. Let me go on some sources. Let me go on some sources that you reference and cut you out of that. And I learned that over the years. So you can't like even learn. I'll even say it like this: even learning prophecies, especially prophecies like Daniel chapter 7, things that Edomites can't even like understand. Like not really understand. They can't understand why it perfectly depicts these ruling powers from Babylon all the way to Rome. Like they can't explain how do these people get this information? They can't understand like Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 68 how it says they will go on slave ships. Like they can't understand how it says that a long time ago, and you see it happening, and you saw it happen in history, almost to a point to where the Edomites got forced to teach this to us, just so we can see the prophecy being unfolded. That's how the Lord ain't about to keep his like major prophecies like that. He's not about to keep that secret. You're gonna see that, no, it's gonna be a witness to the world.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, y'all. See, you got a precept.
Going back into, I got a few precepts on your point about the importance of abounding, because it's actually not a suggestion to abound, but it's actually a commandment from our Lord Yahushua. This is Matthew 25:26. It said, his Lord answered and said unto him, thou wicked and slothful servant. Right? What makes them slothful? Because they weren't abounding in those talents that he gave them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He says, thou knewest that I reap where I sowed not, and gather where I had not straw. Now let's look at this word, slothful. Slothful. I'll pass it. Wicked, and there you go. Slothful. Look at this, sluggish, slothful, backwards, and that's going back to that precept that we're going to go to in Hebrews.
Hebrews, yeah.
You know, and because you're doing either one or two things, you're either progressing or you're going backwards. Like it's always those two extremes, man. Like you're never just in one constant state. You know, it may seem like, oh well, I'm stagnant right now in the truth, but in all actuality, you're actually moving backwards, because guess what? The Lord ain't waiting on your ass. He's progressing. Yeah. The movie scene just be on pause because you had some type of situation to come up in your life. Your girl done, cheated on you or something like that. Okay, well, let me hit the pause button and, get my life together. No, the Lord, hey, the movie film is still rolling.
Yeah.
So what you doing?
Mm-hmm. It's like, you wouldn't understand this one either. It's like when you're playing video games online, man. There ain't no pause button. you either playing along or you're not, man. You either AFK or you playing. You in the mix, man. A lot of jakes really don't be in the mix.
Yeah.
You gotta stay in the mix, and you gotta stay abounding in this truth to stay in it, man. Mm-hmm. You gotta fight. Like, it's not a fight. It's not even just like, yeah, you gotta fight to get better breakdowns, but you gotta fight to just stay in this, bro. Because the world is coming against you.
Yeah.
It says like Yahushua talks about overcoming the world. You know what I mean? Dang. The whole world is against us. But if God be with you, who can fight against it?
Right.
And God ain't gonna be with you if you're being slothful. Go ahead.
Right.
Or were you done?
God, yeah, this Matthew 3:10, because James, it says, behold, the husband waited for the precious fruit of the earth. And this James, let me go back to Matthew 3:10. He says, even now the axe of Yahweh's judgment is poised, ready to sever the roots of the trees. Right? We understand that those trees is who? Men, according to Mark chapter 8. He says, I see men as trees. He says, yes, every tree that does not produce good fruit will be chopped down and thrown into the fire. So if you're not producing, that means that you're not abounding. You're somewhere along the process of actually producing fruit, whether you're not getting watered or you're not getting the adequate amount of sunlight, well, hey, you're not abounding in that thing. So the Lord's sword is actually is poised to come down upon your roots, man. He's gonna burn you up, and you're gonna die the death of an infidel, man.
Mm-hmm.
What good would that be? Here you spent 15 years in the truth just to fall off for 6 months. 6 months of you not repenting, you not doing the work, and then according to Ezekiel 18, he says all your righteousness shall be forgotten.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, just to have some brother come in at the last moment, like Matthew chapter 20, coming at the last moment.
Get that
he
same
made
pity.
5 months and finish it out, and now you done got your crown, bro.
It
That's a slap in the face.
is. It's almost like because we all started a seed. We all started a seed, and the Lord waters it. It's almost like a tree grows out of that, and then no fruit. Like it's supposed to grow fruit, but no fruit grows on the tree. It's a tree that's grown, but no fruit grows on it.
Damn.
You might as well chop it down. What's the point of it existing?
Hey,
it don't do nothing else. Yeah,
he cursed that fig tree.
Yeah, because there's no point. There's no point of it. Yep. There's no point to have a fruit tree if it doesn't produce fruit. Because you have other trees that do things that just cleanse the oxygen, or cleanse the keep the oxygen and the CO2 balanced.
Right.
Now, what's the point? What's the point of a tree that's made to create things to be eaten, and it doesn't do that? It's the same way of us. The same way with us. What's the point of us being an Israelite or knowing you were Israelite if you're not going to keep the commandments? That's like having a winning lotto ticket, knowing you have a winning lotto ticket, and just purposely not cashing it in. It's stupid. Go back to James.
You want me to pull this just real quick?
Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Matthew 21 and 18 in NLT. In the morning, as Yahushua was returning to Jerusalem, he was hungry. Now, we can also look at this in spiritual eyes because we understand that when our Lord Yahushua comes back, according to 2 Peter chapter 1, he's known as the bright and morning star because he's the beginning of all things. He makes all things new. And Yahushua was returning to Jerusalem because he's coming to look at the fruit that his people produce, because we're people before we're placed. It says he was hungry and he noticed a fig tree beside the road. He went over to see if there were any figs, but there were only leaves. Then he said to it, "May you never bear fruit again." And immediately the fig tree withered up. And knowing that men represent trees, he's literally commanding that tree. He's commanding that man, hey, basically follow the truth. You know,
because that's the equivalent. That's the equivalent of being lukewarm. It's lukewarm. It's a lukewarm spirit. You can't be lukewarm in this truth. And to be honest, bro, it really ain't that hard to. It's not really that hard to not be lukewarm, bro. Like, cause you can if you've been in the truth for a minute and have an understanding of the scriptures, you should know by examining yourself. If you examine yourself, that like, okay, this is if I haven't been doing anything. I haven't been abounding in this truth. I haven't been trying my hardest to fight it. It's like you should obviously know you're being lukewarm. And so I need to see, and when I go astray, I need to see the Lord 10 times harder. I need to go 10 times harder than what I'm doing right now because I'm not doing nothing. Now go back to James.
God. And it really all just boils back down to faith.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. James 5 and 7 from the top. Be patient, therefore, brethren, until the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandman waited for the precious fruits of the earth, and have long patience for it until he received the early and latter rain.
Let's go into that harvest. Go to verse 8.
Verse 8. Be ye also patient. Establish your hearts. Dang, that's powerful. It says, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh.
Look at the Greek word for establish. Establish your hearts. What does establish mean? Like to fix into place. Establish your heart.
Yeah.
Get that. Let me see what that Greek word is.
Placely firm, set fast, strengthen, make firm, render constant, confirm one's mind.
Confirm one's mind. Your mind got to be confirmed. You guess why? Let me give me Romans chapter 12, verse 2. That's the next thing that just comes up to mind.
What's that?
Romans chapter 12, verse 2.
Okay. Romans 12 and 2. Be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. You guys, it's a constant thing. You have to fight to stay in this. You have to you got to fight to survive, bro. You have to constantly renew your mind. You overcome the world and put away and put away the confirmation that the world tries to put upon you by renewing your mind. It's like repentance. Repentance isn't just a one day thing. You have to stay repented. And the only way you're gonna stay repentant is by abounding in these scriptures, abounding in this faith, and breaking off that old man.
Mm-hmm. And if you think about it, everything that the Lord gives us is actually rationed to us by day-to-day basis. Because when you consider the Lord's Prayer in Matthew 6, he says, give me my daily bread. And this is how the Lord always dealt with us as a nation. When you think about Deuteronomy chapter 8, he says, for the Lord suffered you to hunger in the wilderness, and basically, gave you that manna, from day to day. I'm paraphrasing, because he just gives you just enough, not too much and not too little, so we can constantly be dependent upon him.
Mm-hmm.
So everything that he gives us, man, it is rationed out perfectly. It's a perfect balance to it.
Oh yeah. Now give me Hebrews.
Okay, Kyle. Would you want me to finish this out?
Where was you at?
Romans 12:2.
Go ahead.
It says, and be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is good and acceptable and perfect will of Yahweh.
There was the will of Yahweh, the law, statutes, and commandments. That's Psalms chapter 40, verse 8. That's the will of the Lord. We have to prove, and that's gonna read right into Hebrews. Go to Hebrews 10.
Okay, but can I grab this one, or you want me to just go straight there?
Just go to Hebrews 10.
Okay.
35.
All right, Hebrews 3 and 10.
No, Hebrews 10 and 35.
Oh, my bad, I'm sure. Hebrews 10:35. It says, cast out away, therefore, your confidence, which has great recompense of reward.
And hold up, that confidence is really going into that faith, because you're confident in a certain thing. That means you're putting some level of trust or belief in it that this is going to happen. And what are we patiently waiting for? For those who led us into captivity to go into captivity. And what is that? What time period is that? When we're living in the blessings of the Lord, the fulfillment of the promise. We're waiting for that oath and that promise that was promised to Abraham to finally take fruition. Us dwelling in that land, us being saved from our oppressors, us ruling over our oppressors. We're waiting for that. That's what we're waiting for, and we're not going to get that if we stay here being stagnant in this. You're not going to inherit this. You want to be an inheritor. You don't want to be somebody who has to come back and has to suffer. You have to suffer the second death and come back. You don't want to do that. You want to be the first fruits of that kingdom. You want to be part of that first resurrection. That's what you should be striving for. And you're not going to get that if you're not enduring into this truth. You're not doing your damnedest. You're not doing your damnedest to evolve into this truth, man. So you gotta be the very best, man. Like nobody ever was. You know what I mean?
Like you said in Luke 16:16, he said this. It says, the law and the prophets were until John. Since that time, the kingdom of Yahweh is preached, and every man presseth into it. And when you consider, let's just kind of get like a vivid illustration in our minds, like, the ark of Noah's ark, those doors closing, just consider, if someone was trying to press into it. Well, that's how we're jockeying for positions in the kingdom right now, man. We doing our hardest, everything we can, knowing that at the end of the day, it's really all up, to the Lord to decide. But we're hoping, until the very end, we trying to do our best to press into this ark of safety.
And you get that, and you that should be on your mind. That should be your confidence. That should knowing the end of the story, because the Lord declared the end before the beginning. Knowing the end of the story and knowing what you can get, you should do your damnedest to not put away your confidence and to try to obtain that. We need to obtain, like, honestly, bro, we need to obtain this promise, or we not gonna make it in America. Because this ain't like they giving out money. They giving out $1,400 per person in the household. Like, you think we about to just get this money and then everything gonna be fine after that?
Hell no.
You think taxes ain't about to be crazy? Like, I'm not even trying to be one of them guys, but you think taxes ain't about to be crazy? You think the price of things ain't about to just drastically go up? This ain't even really helping the economy like that. Like, like you think we're about to be in a better position? This is the time period. This time period is when you need to be really dealing with the Lord, because stuff is about to start happening, bro.
Right.
On a crazy scale, stuff is about to start happening. Biden definitely was the guy.
Yep.
Because he ain't fighting against no type of agenda.
That's a fact.
Biden is the dude they wanted, and we about to start seeing stuff, man. Yeah. That's why we gotta have that confidence in our head, so we don't make haste, so we don't be confounded or being scared when things start to happen. We gotta have that confidence that we need to do what the Lord tells us to do, so we can obtain this promise, and we can deal and endure through all these temptations that are gonna come, and all these struggles that's gonna come. You got something to say?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
He says, "Cast not away, therefore, your confidence." Right. This is 1 Thessalonians 5:21. Prove all things, right? and that's what the Lord has, given us, these senses to do. He's allowed us to basically prove this truth to see, because like Cyrek also said, he says basically, prove to see which is good unto you. So if you see that this truth is beneficial unto you and it's good unto you, he says, hold fast that which is good. That's what Yahushua told you in Revelation chapter 2. He says, hold that fast without crown, so no man can take it. So what good would it do to cast your confidence behind your back?
Mm-hmm. What good would it do, man? It's crazy that Jake will know the end of the story. You know what you will get, accept what you can get, and then turn away from it. Or not do the acts that it requires for you to obtain it. That's like if somebody came to you one day, right? Did you play sports?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you play?
Basketball.
That's like saying that's like if somebody came to you and told you one day you about to be the best basketball player in the world. All you got to do is just work and do a little bit of work in the gym. You're gonna be the best basketball player in the world. Not me just telling you that. I'm telling you this is going to happen. But it requires you to put the work in the gym. And then you believe that, and then turn around and just be lazy and just think you already got it. And you think you're going to go up there and get embarrassed. You're going to be like how it says, made ashamed. You're going to be confounded. You're going to be confounded when somebody crosses you up. It's going to be real unfortunate when somebody dunks on you. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's going to be real unfortunate for you when all you had to do, you already know the end of the story. You know what you can get. Is put the work in the gym.
And that's really Jake for you, because if you think about it, man, Jake can't really hold no job, bro.
Yeah.
Jake he scored. You know what I'm saying? We all know that, all these jobs in Babylon is just fucking trap and everything. But, if he was in the world, like, man, that dude got a good job, but he just threw it all away. He know good and well if he was to, finish out that week, he would have got about 2 racks, right? But he cast his confidence aside because what? He's really just lazy at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want to go to work.
Mm-hmm. Because even Paul had an occupation. Like he taught the word, he still had an occupation.
Mm-hmm.
He's like this. It's Jake on this Allen Iverson spirit. Practice. You mean show up and play. You mean show up and play. You mean mock practice.
Yeah.
Get better practice. That's what Jake be on. Like, and we practice. Matter of fact, we in a spirit of practicing right now with rehearsing the righteous acts. Because we ain't gonna have it 100%, especially in captivity. We ain't gonna have it 100%. But what we can do, we do.
And that's why we're confident of it. We really confident, not on our behalf, but confident on Yahweh Shah's righteousness to basically cover us, man.
And that shows our confidence because we know we can't fulfill it to the total totality as far as like certain high holy days require a sacrifice. There has to be a burning sacrifice continuously. There has to be we have to Deuteronomy 16:16. We have to go to Jerusalem and celebrate the high holy days. There's certain things we literally cannot do. Not like but there's certain things we can do, and we're gonna do that to the best of our ability because we have confidence in the Lord that He'll acknowledge that, and look upon that, and look upon Yahweh Shai's death, and He'll be an advocate for us so we can obtain the promise.
But Jake been hanging around Esau too long, man. A lot of the reason why I say this because he got that entitled spirit. You know, he's like, he found out that he is like, shit. If I don't make it on this go around, at least I'm gonna still be in there.
I'll still be in there, man.
Hey, the Most High might actually play a game on your ass, and you find out your ass a Canaanite.
God,
you know, hey, all because you didn't come into this thing sincerely.
What is it? You played yourself. You played
yourself. So all these cats is boasting about, you know what I'm saying? Well, I know I'm an Israelite, man, you know, and you ain't got the right spirit. Hey, the Lord can really ensnare you, man, if you ain't careful.
For real. Read that verse again and keep going.
No,
actually, just read the verse. Just read the verse.
Okay. It says, cast not away, therefore, your confidence, which have great recompense of reward. For ye need
great recompense of reward. What is that, bro? That's the kingdom. Great recompense of reward. That's not no stimmy, man. we're not talking about no $1,400, man. You know how fast I burned through my stimulus check, bro? That thing was gone, bro.
Are you done already?
I mean, it was like not my new one. I ain't got my new one yet, but the other one, the first two, man, gone, bro. Just gone. You know what the Bible say? We put our money in holes with pockets in it. I mean, not holes with pockets in it. Pockets with holes in it. You know what I mean? It was gone, man. We ain't talking about no stimmy. We talking about streets paved with gold, man. We talking about a new slave trade they got going on, man. You know, a new type of slave trade. You know, it's better. It's built on greater promises. You know,
obedient women.
Oh man, oh man, like you could just forget. You could just like cut a lot of that stuff out and say obedient women. You
and then they cold.
But yeah, man. Oh man, you're gonna get a lot of sisters upset with that one. Go ahead, keep going.
Y'all know what's about now. Yeah. Hebrews 10:36. Were you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. He says, for you have need of patience.
And then have need of patience, bro. You have need of patience. Why? Because it's gonna be a long. Even at that time, they writing that like they about to get saved right then and there, bro. But like, you talk about thousands of years later, we still in this. We still in captivity. We still in captivity. We don't know how long we got to go. Hell, you got to be prepared. Like honestly, I hate to let the sentence come out of my mouth, but you really got to be prepared that this could go another 50 years, bro. And I don't think it will, but it literally could. I hate for that to happen because Lord in Christ, I'd be 70-something years old.
Oh man.
But yeah, man.
Hell no. I ain't receiving that. I ain't receiving that. I got some credit card debt, you know, and I ain't intending to pay that off. You know?
Yeah, man. I got a lot of debt in multiple places. And I don't intend to pay that off either.
Yeah, bro.
So they trying to come get me.
Shit. Luke 21:19. He says, "In your patience, possess ye your souls." All right, and that's how that's ultimately how you're gonna be delivered, man. Of course, it's having hope and faith in the salvation of our Lord. But at the end of the day, it's having patience in that. And let's actually go into this word patience real quick. It says steadfastness, constancy, endurance, and that's the title of this lesson. Having endurance in this race, and that's going. We'll pull 1 Corinthians 9 too. He says, in the New Testament, characteristics of a man who is not swerved from his deliberate purpose.
Oh,
What's the word deliberate mean?
Oh,
yeah. Deliberate means that you got a one-track mind. Like Proverbs chapter 4 says, he says, don't let your eyelids look to the left or to the right. All right. And you literally
that's tough. That's
tough, bro.
That's tough.
Hey, and who was the ultimate personification of this? Yahweh Shah, man. He came exactly what he had to do. He came and suffered, you know, he did his father's will and he was out of here. You didn't see him get caught up in extra things. You didn't see him allow the affairs of this world to weigh him down, you know, to where he, put aside his father's business. No, he understood coming into this thing. I got one. Hey, this is how you know that he's actually a man of war. Because a man of war does what? He keeps rank.
Mm-hmm.
He has one mission on his mind.
Powerful.
He got one mission on his mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And guess what? Hey, those missiles gonna have one mission on their mind too.
Oh, that's right.
Joel chapter 2. They're not gonna break their rank.
Yeah, it's gonna be a real bright future for this land, man. And we're not gonna get that. We're not gonna get that unless we endure. Hell, we're not even gonna see that unless we endure. So, like, let me see. Let's see, what does it say? There's a lot of stuff going on in the world. World War 3, I feel like he's about to kick off a volcano. The 60-year-old. Hey, man, could be. Right. Where's we at? Go back to Hebrews. Wait, is there more on that?
Yeah. It says, of a man who is not swerved and his loyalty to faith. All right. And that's us going back to being his wife. The elect being his wife, because what? This is a bride without spot, right? She's not caught up in adultery. She's loyal to her husband. And piety by even the greatest trials and sufferings. Yeah.
Because even if, like I said, trust. It said trusting, right?
Because
like you look at the Hebrew word for faith, H529, I'm one. It's like faithfulness, trusting, faithful, trusty as an adjective. I think there's a root. This is from 539. It says to support, confirm, be faithful. To support, confirm, be faithful, uphold, nourish. Oh man, to be established. There's that word again. Establish souls. To be established, to be faithful, to be carried, to make firm, verified, confirmed, faithful, trusty, reliable. That's going into consistency, like you said.
Man, we keep saying that word, stable and established. Can I just get this real quick? It's Colossians 2:7. I'm starting at verse 6. As you have therefore received Hamashiach Yahweh Shah the Lord, so walk ye in him, rooted and built up in him, established in the faith. See that?
Oh, yeah.
Rooted and built. And those are all characteristics of what? A tree. You're rooted, you're deeply rooted, and you're going to be built up in him. And in the process of something being built up, guess what? It's abounding. It's kind of like you playing Legos or Tetris. You constantly not Tetris, because they knock them out. But Legos, you got those Lego blocks, whatever. You're constantly building up on it, man. And it says established in the faith. Right? You're settled in this faith. It says, as you have been taught, abounding therein with thanksgiving. And just for edification's sake, we'll go into that word abounding. It says to exceed a fixed number or measure, to be left over and above a certain number or measure. See that?
Well, it's kind of hard to see because you got that McDonald's Wi-Fi going on. Where's your Wi-Fi at?
Oh, I'm using my hotspot.
You don't got Wi-Fi?
Nah.
Oh Lord.
Oh, you can't see it?
Well, I mean, it just moves slow. It's just updating slow.
Oh, calm.
But it's fine. Point was made. Okay,
calm. Yeah, so it says to exceed a fixed number of measure. That's what that word abound means, And so yeah. When we go back to Hebrews.
Yeah, go back to Hebrews.
Okay, this is Hebrews 10:36. For you have need of patience, that after you have done the will of God, you
there.
might.
Well, hold on. After you've done the will of God, you might what?
You might receive the promise.
There you go. After you do the will of God, you might receive the promise. You have to do the will of, like, matter of fact, bro, like, that's a cut on, let's say, oh, y'all, works-based salvation. What's the will of God? Like, even in the New Testament, in Romans 2, it says the will of God is the commandments.
Mm-hmm.
And Psalms 40, it says the will of God is the commandments. So we have to do what was required of us, because the Lord requires us to keep the commandments, like it says in, was that Deuteronomy 12? Deuteronomy 12, that we have to keep the commandments of the Lord. We have to do what's required of us to obtain this promise.
Yeah. And if I might add, I would like to emphasize this word "might" too. That's not a word we like to see, but this goes to show you that the Lord is literally eliminating all power from your hands, showing you that, listen, it's not going to really be by your works, right? You're going to have enough faith to even do the will. And after that, you just might. There's a possibility that you won't receive the promise as of yet, right? But you might. And that goes to show that the ones who's actually deliberate and sincere until the end, because that's actually in Matthew chapter 5, he says, be ye therefore perfect, right? That's actually what that word purpose going into, meaning to complete or to fill, right? Because that was when Yahweh said in John chapter 4, verse 34, he says, my meat is to do the will of my Father and to finish it. That's him making perfect his deliberate plan or his deliberate task at hand, right? That's how he perfected it. It's just kind of like a painter, right? When he paints a picture, let's say, for instance, it may be the most beautiful construct ever, but if he didn't finish it, it's not perfect. Your faith wasn't perfect. And that's like Peter has said, he says, receiving the end of your faith, even the salvation of our souls, So the end of your faith is literally you finishing your faith, not just coming in here, I'm speaking to myself as well, because I'm still a babe in this thing. I'm just a little bit a year over this. So this very much well applies to me. You may be in this thing for 6 months, a year, 2 or 3 years. Well, guess what? He ain't come back yet. So you still got work to do. You still got to finish it. Knowing that at any time, he can easily remove your candlestick, if you're not being consistent in this. And like the brother said, it's really not too hard, if you actually have a sincere spirit about it, to actually stay rooted in this when you're found doing the work. Because why would he just remove your candlestick while you're doing the work, unless you're doing it deceitfully, but other than that,
your brother's out there doing that.
That's a fact, man.
But it's like it's like this, man. Like we've said this on the show a lot of times, man. We don't know who the elect is, because I forgot. I think Tahar said that. He said I don't know who the elect is, but when they come back, I'll be making sure I'm doing exactly what the elect's supposed to be doing. That I might receive the promise.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I got a quick precept on that too.
Go ahead.
This is John 5, and where is that at? John 5, and let's see. It's a lot. Okay. Finish me. Dang.
Man, we have to make a part 2 to this.
Yeah. Let me just
go into this many precepts.
Okay, yeah.
You go ahead and get your precepts. You good?
Okay, yeah.
This part 2.
Yeah, like the brother said, man. And I believe I even heard Deacon say this. He says, if we don't know who the elect is, but at least we're gonna be trying to do what they do. And this John 5:36, and I love this title. It says witness of works, because it's the only thing you really got to rely upon right now, is the witness of your works. Your works testify of who and what you are. He says, 5:36, but I have greater witness than that of John, for the works which the Father had given me to what? To finish, not to start and just slack off, but no, the works he has given me to finish, the same works that I do bear witness of me that the Father has sent me. And that's the only true way that you can truly believe that a man is a man of the Lord, or you're a man of the Lord. If so far, the Lord has given you this talent and you have been, multiplying. That's the only thing you got to rely upon is the witness of your own works.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I would doubt that, you know what I'm saying, that you're in the faith. If you're not doing these works.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to believe. It would be hard. I'd be hard pressed to believe somebody who says they're in the truth and don't keep the commandments, bro. I'm sorry, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Let me get this. 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 10. Wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence, or karatazah, to make your calling and election sure. For if you do these things, you shall never fall. So if I do what I'm supposed to do with the election, I mean, it's like here. If I make sure I'm doing what the election is supposed to be doing, and we're all the way into the end, and I overcome the world, there's a good chance I could be of the elect. Mm-hmm. And I know, and it's like it goes back to what I said before. I know what the elect is going to be. I know what the end is. Like I know the end of the story. So why would I not put myself in a position to get that end of the story? Like, you know what I mean? Like why would I just say, I mean, that's cool and all to get the kingdom, but I mean, what about the bag though? And that's Jake. That's Jake, bro. We all know it's Jake.
Man, Jake, as soon as he, see that, as soon as he see the economy crash, that's when he's gonna start putting in the work. But it's gonna be too late.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be too late.
It's gonna be too late, man. You can't pull a fast one on the Most High, man.
He's like, nah, man.
Yeah.
Give me yeah, we're gonna have to do a part 2 on this. We'll just get we'll get a few more. Get
this Matthew.
Matthew. Oh, you got a precept?
Yeah.
All right, get that one. I got 2 more after that.
Yeah, this is Matthew 7:20. Wherefore, by their fruits you shall know them. See that? By the fruits of what? By the fruits of your doings, by the fruits of your labor, by your works, they declare who you are.
Mm-hmm. They declare who you are. Like, and the thing about that, you can see fruit. It's this kind of like if I'm trying to like distinguish what kind of tree I'm looking at, I'm gonna look at what fruit it's bearing. Mm-hmm. If it has acorns on it, it's an acorn tree. If it has apples on it, it's an apple tree. What other vegetation? Whatever vegetation will be on the tree. That's how I know what the tree is. So if I see you doing wicked works, you're probably you are wicked. Not probably, you are wicked.
Yeah.
If I see you eat a pork chop sandwich, you were wicked. Oh my God, bro! I meant to tell you. I just remember that. So, when we go to Houston, they talk about the turkey leg hut, right?
Yeah.
They're supposed to be coming. Guess what? Guess where they're supposed to be coming down here? What location they're coming down here
at? Hopefully downtown.
Nah, bro. Maybe, but one of the locations gonna be the Potter House, bro.
Oh my gosh, bro.
And they're gonna have crawfish, bro.
Oh my goodness. Oh shit.
But they're more respected than us. But
so he gonna have turkey leg hut like on his vicinity?
I think it's either gonna be either around his campus or something. Like it was really vague because my coworker was showing me about it because he told me about it yesterday and then he pulled up a link about it today. Yeah, and I'm just like, it's somewhere on the campus. I'm just like, cool. Like that's what a surprise. What a surprise that is.
That's crazy, bro. It's crazy, man.
That's madness.
Keep Jesus.
Jacob. Give me Matthew. No, I'll get that last. Give me Psalms 27:14.
God.
Yeah, so we're running out of time.
Yeah. That's it. Psalms 27:14 says, wait on Yahweh. Be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thy heart. Wait, I say, on Yahweh.
You have to wait on Yahweh, and that waiting is going to what? Like we said before, patience.
Mm-hmm.
Patience, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Wait on the Lord. Be of good courage. And that courage is going into what? Your confidence. You got to be confident in these scriptures. Yeah, confidence. You got to be confident in these scriptures, confident and established in the faith, so that you can wait on Him. So that you know, so you won't be ashamed at the end. You won't be looking like, dang, like I just believe this for nothing. No, you're believing it for a reason, and that reason you have. Matter of fact, we had to go into that. We gotta go into another lesson about we believe through persuasion. You gotta. We're persuaded. We're persuaded to believe in the Lord because He's given us evidence of Him through His prophecies that you don't see anywhere else. The type of prophecy you read in the Bible you don't see anywhere else. He's shown us evidence of this and kept it preserved all the way into our time period so we can see the totality of it and have even more faith in it because we can see the whole picture. That's why we wait on the Lord. I believe in the Lord because I've seen these prophecies and can't nobody disprove it. Can't nobody disprove it. It was that Marie S. It is a sin. Is it a sin to get a tattoo? Yes, it's a sin to get a tattoo. You're not supposed to print any images on your body, like the law says.
Read Leviticus 19.
Yes, Leviticus 19. You're not back to my previous point. It says, "Be of good courage, and He shall strengthen thine heart." Strengthen thy heart. That's strengthen your heart is your mind. He shall strengthen your mind through your courage, through your confidence, and you get that through evolving in the truth and learning more scriptures, learning more breakdowns. So when you learn more breakdowns, I can't stop harping on this. Learning more prophecy will strengthen your hope in the scriptures. It will strengthen your faith in the scriptures. It'll make you even more confident because anybody can say the Bible's fake. Anybody can say the Bible's fake, but you can't fake them prophecies.
That's right.
You can't fake these verbatim prophecies that are in the Bible. You can't fake none of that. None of that could be just can be made up because you have to acknowledge that the Lord put or some kind of entity, spiritual entity, put some kind of spirit upon these men to write things that happened in history. Way before, write something down on paper, on scripture, and wrote 1,000 years before it happened. You have to acknowledge some kind of entity is working with them, and that entity is Yahweh. He is existence. He's who come to be. He is existence. Yahweh, the existing one. He is the Lord. He is the Lord that we need to be waiting on, and we wait on Him because we believe through His prophecies. We believe through the things He said. He's believed through what He's put us through all the way up until this point. Even when we're wicked in the world, the Lord provided us a way to even live long enough and have grace on us enough so we can make it to even hear the truth.
Mm-hmm.
We're out here doing sins before we even know the truth. We're out here doing sins that are worthy of death, bro. Death. And the Lord winked at that just so we can hear the truth and hear where Israelites start keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. He could have killed us then. He had every right to. He had every right to, but He preserved us all the way up until this point. So we need to continue. We need to continue into what He taught us because He showed grace on us to even reveal this to us. This isn't going to be revealed to everybody. So not only did He reveal it, that He had showed grace unto us by revealing it unto us. He also showed grace unto us by allowing us to even live long enough to even start bearing fruit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we wait on the Lord, knowing things like that. Like you have to wait on the Lord at that point. You have to sit there and continue and abound in this truth because you not only owe that to yourself, but you owe that to the Lord, bro.
Sure.
To the Lord. Okay. Go ahead, get your precept.
Two quick precepts to back you up. This is Psalm 103:10. He have not dealt with us after our sins.
Mm-hmm.
Or rewarded us according to our iniquities. Yeah. And if you think about it, man, everything that we have gone through, just think about the atrocities that our people have gone through. Listen, even with that, He still hasn't dealt with us according to after our sins as they have called for, man. The Lord has been far, far much more exceeding gracious, man. You know, His grace outweighed our sins and our abominations. So he didn't deal with us according to what our iniquities actually called for. And because of that, you should be that much more perseverance, what do you call it? Steadfast in his truth. The 2 Corinthians 4:1. Therefore, seeing we have this ministry, as we have received mercy, we faint not. So the simple fact that we receive this ministry, receive this mercy, is us receiving mercy from the hand of the Lord. All right. And you go into that word ministry, it just means to serve. So he basically gave you this servant position as a peace offering.
Hell, he even sent us, and that, it's even deeper because I said, like, the Lord preserved us all the way till we can hear the word Israelites, and that we can actually turn away from our sins. But we got to think about this stuff. We got to think about this one thing. This one, but before he even gave us the ability to do that, 2,000 years before that, he sent his son to die for us. He showed mercy on us right now by sending his son 2,000 years ago to die for us, so that those sins we did can be forgiven. So that now the Lord can look upon Yahushai's death and he could present us blameless to the Lord. So that he could die, so that we all have access to the Holy Spirit. So we can be reconciled as a nation. So we can actually come back and be that exceedingly great army that's standing up against our oppressors. That's one thing we cannot forget. Because his son, he not only sent his son here to do his will by keeping the law, statutes, commandments, and do what he was meant to be doing, but he also, what is he saying? Slack here. But he also allowed him to be faithful all the way up into his death. Because he was like, dang, I wish this cup can pass by me if it be the Lord's will, but if your will is for me to die on this cross, I'm going to die on this cross for my people, so Israel could be reconciled. Right. So we can cast off our old man, so we can be forgiven of sins that we could not be forgiven for under the law of Moses. We can't stress this enough. Like people always say, we don't preach Jesus. We do preach Jesus or Yahushua. We do that because we can't even acknowledge ourselves coming into this truth without doing that. We did, like we all I'm saying, we all did shit worthy of death, bro. You celebrated Easter, worthy of death. You went to a strip club, worthy of death. You committed adultery, worthy of death. You worship another god or yourself, worthy of death. Birthdays, worthy of death.
Damn.
Not celebrating the Sabbath day, worthy of death. Not celebrating certain high holy days, worthy of death. And you didn't do all those things until you found out you was an Israelite. And here's the Lord sending his son to die for you for things you didn't even deserve. You don't even deserve to be forgiven. But he did that for you because he had mercy on you. Yeah. So to say we don't preach Jesus is madness, because we wouldn't have anything if it wasn't for Yahushua. We would still be niggas in the world if it was not for Yahushua. So when somebody gets in our conversation, you don't need to preach more Jesus, we always preach Jesus. Because without him, we are nothing as a nation. Without the Lord, we're nothing as a nation. And he's the only mediator to bring us back into contact with the Lord. So, of course, we preach Yahushua.
That's a fact. Hey, and the cold part about it, even with us even being in this truth, guess what? You still actually commit sins worthy of death. And the simple fact that sometimes you got to work on the Shabbat, or taking a rib. Well, according to the law, hey, that woman, she's unlawful, but that goes to show you that it has to be by his grace and by his justification, and it's all built off of what? Hope, man. You're hoping that you're going to actually be exempt on Judgment Day. Mm-hmm. When those cherries drop, man, you literally, you hope it, like, Lord, I got faith in this hope, that you actually, you put your blood to cover me, man. Mm-hmm. So that's really why it's so important not to take this truth so lightly, knowing that the Lord has literally just wiped out every circumstance from your hands for you to actually receive the salvation. It's all built off of him. Because when you read Romans chapter 8, let me grab that real quick. Let me grab Romans 8.
And while you're doing that, I'm gonna say this. Like how 1 John chapter 2 says he's our Yahweh Shai is our advocate to the Father. That's like having a like having a lawyer have a lawyer fight for you. That's what an advocate is. That's like you ever see those commercials about the Texas Hammer? That lawyer called is it a Texas Hammer? I'm gonna fight for you. He said, well, he's running up to that 18-wheeler with the sledgehammer. That's kind of like what we have with Yahweh Shai. He's that lawyer who's gonna fight for us. If you don't have Yahweh Shai, that's like going to court with a court appointed lawyer. 99.9999999% of the time, you getting convicted.
Wow.
So of course we preach Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
Yep. Yeah, this Romans 8:24, he says, "For we are saved by hope." That's how you say it, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you say it. You're saved by hope. Even when you having faith and you're doing the works, all that is still stemming from what? Hope, right? Because you don't have any tangible proof of anything at this point. You haven't seen Yahweh Shai, right? You haven't actually seen your great grandfather, right? You haven't seen the Holy Spirit, but all of this is built off of what? A system of hope. And that's going to show you that's what our heritage is built off of. Abraham had to step off of what? Hope and faith. All right, well, Yahweh had called Abraham to away from his family, away from his land, and Abraham had that faith, man. Okay, well, wherever he's going to take me, I'm hoping that it's going to be the correct way, and I got faith that it's going to be the correct way. All right. He said, "For we are saved by hope. But hope that is seen," you see that, "is not hope." For what a man seeth, why does he yet hope for it? And this is why we hope for it, because we haven't seen none of this, right? That's why Yahweh Shai told Thomas in John chapter 20, he says, "For Thomas, you believe because you have seen me, but blessed are they who have not seen me, but yet believe."
Yeah, I'm looking for that. I'm looking for a precept just like that. And James, what's that? That's James 1. Or like receiving at the end of your souls, even the salvation of your souls.
That's 2 Peter, I believe. That's 2 Peter.
That's 1 Peter.
1 Peter. Okay, yeah, I knew that Peter.
Because you said go get 1 Peter chapter 1 verse 7. You said we haven't even seen. We ain't got no tangible proof of Yahweh Shai, right? We don't have no straight tangible proof of Yahweh Shai. We haven't even seen him, but we believe in him. Started 1 Peter chapter 1 verse 7.
God, 1 Peter says that the trial of your faith, being much more precious than of gold that perishes, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach.
Now check this out, right? It says like the trial of your faith being more precious than gold that perishes, because it's worth more than the things you're going to get on the earth. That's why it says he that overcometh the world, right? The same will I give power over the nations. You got to overcome the world. Is even though your faith be tried by fire, and that's going into the straight lesson. That's going into the straight topic of this lesson, enduring in this truth and trying to make it all the way to the end. They'll be tried with fire. Might be found unto the praise and honor and glory of the appearing of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. Read the next verse. That's exactly what you just said.
He says, "Whom having not seen,"
whom you have not seen, because we haven't literally seen him. We haven't literally seen him. We have no tangible evidence of this entity called Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. But we love him and we believe in him. Keep going.
"In whom ye love."
Yeah.
In whom, though you have not seen him, yet believing, ye rejoice with joy unspeakable and full of glory.
With joy is unspeakable and full of glory. Why? Because you have faith in him. That like enduring into the truth is broken down into like a few words, right? How to endure into the truth is broken down to a few words. Having faith.
That's it.
If you don't have faith, you cannot endure into anything.
Yep.
That like you have to have faith in this. You have to have faith in this. If you have faith in this, you will not stop enduring into this truth. You cannot lose faith. Like this whole thing, every scripture we go into about enduring into the truth revolves around faith and trusting in the Lord and waiting on the Lord. All of that. Oh yeah, like I said, I want all that, right?
Right.
It's
Yep.
going into it's going into faith. Your works will follow if you believe. You won't get confounded if you believe and evolve into this truth. You won't be made ashamed when if something happens and the Lord doesn't deliver you out of it. You won't be made ashamed because you have that confidence in the Lord that He will bring you through it, and not just the end times, through all the situations you have. He makes a way for you to escape.
That's right.
It says that
Second,
all these things, and encompassing enduring into the truth is summed up into one word: faith. If you don't have faith, you will struggle in all things, and you won't be saved. Because at the end of our faith, read verse 9.
uh, 2 Peter 1:9, he says, "But he that lacketh these things is
No, wait, hold
blind."
up. First Peter's 1:9.
Oh, it's a lot. 1 Peter 1:9. Go back. 1 Peter 1:9, it says, "Receiving the end of your faith."
Receiving at the end of your faith, or your endurance, right? Rather, and receiving at the end of your faith or your endurance, what?
Even the salvation of your souls.
Salvation of your souls. So enduring in this truth boils down to one word: is faith. If you have faith in the Lord, you won't fall out of this truth.
That's right.
You have to have faith. It's faith. Faith is the catalyst to the solution to all your problems in enduring in this truth. If you have faith in the Lord, you'll be delivered out of the small situation you have and the large situation you have.
Mm-hmm.
If you understand the prophecies and evolve, you cannot be confounded or being brought out of the truth through unbelief of the scriptures. That cannot happen if you evolve in this truth through faith. And everything else, it just comes to that one thing: it's faith. You can't negate faith. That's why I said the just shall live by faith, and those who are going to be justified will be walking in the faith, and will be demonstrating works thereof. Because if you don't walk in these commandments, bro, like if you don't walk in these commandments, you don't believe in the Lord. That's it. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about this, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You're just it's like a tree producing no fruit, and it's going to be hewn down because it's good for nothing. Cast in the fire, good for nothing. Go ahead. What you got?
Yeah, 2 quick precepts. 2 Ezra 1:37. He says, "I take to witness the grace of the people to come." And we are this generation, man. I truly believe that we are those people that was to come, whose little ones rejoice in gladness. Because who do you find this truth right now? The little ones, the babes, man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? He says, "And though they have not seen me with bodily eyes, yet in spirit they believe the thing that I say." And how do you believe? How do you believe in the things that he say in spirit? John 6:67, he says, "For the words I speak unto you are spirit and are life." So you receiving and believing the words of our Lord Yahweh Shah, that's you believing in him in spirit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is Matthew chapter 9, verse 28, verse 29. He says, I'm sorry, verse 28. "And when he was come into the house, the blind men came to him." And guess what? We were all those blind men when you were caught up in Kemetic religion, Islam, Christianity. We were those blind men, man. Right? He says, "And Yahweh shall say unto them, Believe ye that I'm able to do this?" So do you believe that I can show you the truth? You can actually see clearly. They said unto him, "Yea, Lord." Then touched he their eyes, saying, "According to your faith be it unto you." Yeah, so whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that's
According
cold.
to your faith, be it unto you. Faith.
Yep. So if you didn't have any faith, you wouldn't have been healed. If you had faith, you would have got healed.
Yeah, this is Shalom Israel. Is there a camp in Nashville, Tennessee? We do have a camp in Nashville, Tennessee. That's Nakamaya. I don't think I got this. You type in Nakamaya on I'm gonna spell it.
You want me to try to find it out?
Yeah, type that name in on FB.
Okay.
On Facebook and hit him up.
Okay.
Right. But give me We gotta end it up right here. Give me Matthew 7.
Okay. Hey, whoever left that, just leave a comment in the regular comment section, so that way we can give you his contact. What do you want?
Do that. Matthew 7 and 24. That's a great point. Do that. Leave it in the regular comment section instead of the live chat.
All right. It's Matthew 7:24. He says, therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man which built his house upon a rock.
So Matthew 7:24. If you hear the words of Yahweh Shai Mashiach, if you hold on to them sayings and believe unto them, you'll be likened unto a wise man who built his house on a rock. And we're gonna see what that symbolizes. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house.
Now the rains descended, the floods came, the wind blew and beat upon the house, and then what?
And it fell not.
It fell not. That's the struggles. That's a similitude of the struggles you're gonna struggle through in the truth. It's showing different varieties of things that you're gonna have to deal with. It's just using it in an assembly or dark saying. Basically, a similitude to the endurance you're gonna have to have, because you're gonna survive through that if you build your house upon Yahweh Shai. That encompasses the word and the testimony of him, because he's the word made flesh, and we deal with what he says, like as you read in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Like we hold on to those things. That's us building our house upon a rock. That's this truth. That's this truth right here. That's us building our house on a rock. That's something that's not going to be swayed into different doctrines. We're not like children, like God says in Ephesians. We're not like children swayed into every wind of doctrine. We are built upon a rock, like how Yahweh Shai said. Keep going.
I had a quick precept on that. This Psalms 118, verse 22. He says, "The stone which the builders refused is become the headstone of the corner." And that rock is Yahweh Shai. So if you refuse him, guess what? Your house is falling. Mm-hmm. All right. But if you receive him, as the scripture has stated, he's basically gonna set you, make sure that you stay firm.
Mm-hmm. Says exactly.
Matthew 7:25, and the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. Mm-hmm. And everyone that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them shall be likened unto a foolish man.
Well, he just said doeth them not.
Yes, a lot. And doeth them not shall be likened to a foolish man.
Now, check this out, right? Now, Yahweh Shai is the word made flesh. So he encompasses what they call the Old Testament, right? Now, if you hear those sayings and do them not, which encompasses the law and the prophets, if you don't keep the law, statute, commandments, you're going to be a foolish man. And also, if you don't deal with what Yahweh Shai says in his testimonies, you're going to be likened unto a foolish man. It's the Bible and the Spirit in totality. If you don't sit there and it's a good look. So I don't got FB though. Just leave a comment. We'll get you in contact with Nakamaya. Right now, if you don't encompass the scriptures and walking in the commandments and having the faith of Yahweh Shai, you're going to be a foolish man. If you don't deal with the whole Bible, you're going to be a foolish man. If you don't apply that to your life, you're going to be a foolish man. And what does a foolish man is going to do? Keep going.
Shall be likened to this foolish man which built his house upon the sand.
You built your house upon sand, and keep going.
And the rain descended, the floods came, and the wind blew and beat upon that house.
Now, and check this out, right? And it fell. It fell, right? So when the tribulation came, that house didn't endure. There's a similitude to us. That house did not endure. Why? Because it wasn't built upon a rock. It was built upon sand. If you're not built and rooted up in these scriptures and built in the faith of Yahweh Shai Mashiach, when the tribulations come, you not gonna endure in this truth. You're gonna be as that house that fell, and that doesn't just apply to at the end time. That implies into you failing in situations like time after time after time after time after time, because your house isn't built upon a rock. You're built upon sand. You have to be rooted in these scriptures and rooted in the faith thereof. And if you're not, you're gonna be that house constantly falling and wonder why you in this state of failure. All the way until the end, we'd be a 2-time failure and get your soul destroyed. Now, was that the end on that?
Yeah.
No, read it. No, you didn't finish it. Finish it.
Oh, verse 27.
Yeah.
And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it.
Great was the fall of it. What's that great fall? That's that second death. Ultimately is the second death. Now, we know we can apply that. The first part, you can apply that to the regular situations you have to deal with now. But if you continue that all the way to the end, you're going to have that great fall, and that's that second death. You're not going to endure. Endurance is the key. That's the topic. That's a topic and title of this class: enduring into the truth. Enduring in the truth. Slakia. Now, you got a precept?
Yeah, this is Sirach 27:3. Unless a man hold himself diligently, there you go, that word diligently again.
Diligently.
In the fear of the Lord, his house shall be soon overthrown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? And just like, same thing. Your house is going to be soon overthrown if you don't remain in the fear of the Lord. And the fear of the Lord does what? According to Proverbs 16, the fear of the Lord driveth you away from sin.
Exactly.
That's something that Christians have a hard time wrapping their brain around. Well, God doesn't want you to be afraid of him. Yes, he does. He's going to make you afraid of him. The fact that you're afraid of your father, yes, you reverence him, you have respect to him, but you're also afraid of the potential threats that he can easily carry out upon. And with you knowing that, he's going to make you not fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Because like you talking about, I'm not supposed to be afraid. I'm not supposed to be afraid of the Lord. He is existence. He is the existing one. He's the one that comes to be. He literally is existence. So if he's that, he has the power over that, he can will things into be. He could take me out, bro. I said this earlier. The Lord brought, like, how your parents always say, I brought you into this world. I can take you out. They really don't mean that, but the Lord mean that, and the Lord has the power to do that. He brought you into this world. He brought you into existence, and he can take your ass out into existence. Because a perfect example of that is the Edomites. He brought the Edomites into this world, and then Obadiah chapter 18 is going to happen. They're going to be burnt up and will cease to exist.
Yep. And just think about some scenarios he can use to take you out. Hey, the Lord got all types of gruesome like Final Destination, man. Exactly. The Lord is creative in his thoughts when it comes to taking niggas out, man. It could be something as retarded as you walking outside and a shingle falling on the back of your head and you die. Or, he can have you driving behind this 18-wheeler that's carrying logs, and you slam your brakes and the log come and knock your head off. I've seen that in my profession. And you think about some of the gruesome ways how the Lord killed people. Why would you be afraid of the entity, man? This man can do anything he wants to and be justified at it.
Jeez, that's rough. That's rough.
Hey, that's the nature of the power that we serve, So
yeah. But with that, I think we pretty much got it for now. Because this is gonna definitely have to be a series. There's a lot more precepts than I bargained for on this one. But yeah, man. With that, I hope the elect was edified. I'm gonna say, call halal Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Say shalom.
Shalom.